Are you or a loved one are tired of Bronny talk about the number 55 pick of the NBA draft with the Lakers? You might be entitled to compensation. It ain't coming here because we talking Bronny, we talking the draft, we talking a lot of shit today. We also gonna be talking about how many players could you name on each team? So, like for me, I can name a certain number of MLB players on each specific team. What in your sport, your favorite sport, what can you name? Let we talk about that today too. We also talk about the Saudis and basically them looking to create a boxing league. Could it work? Could it not work? We gonna discuss. Are the Orioles a World Series bust or are they not? Is it a little bit too early because they're a young team? We're gonna discuss that too. We're gonna talk about the NBA draft second round because I ain't watching and you didn't either, but I'm gonna basically we're gonna talk about some suggestions that we have for the next year's, and we got a little bit more stuff. So come on, sit on down, get comfortable. We're gonna do some Bramigos podcast. Play my intro, please.
Bruh.
Yeah, come on with
There
it.
we go.
Rob with the intro today. You heard the man. We already got a lineup, and we gotta talk. We gotta talk to Brownie, bro. We gotta talk Brownie. Rob, I'm gonna let you lead with it. How are you feeling about this today?
So, if you guys have do not know, LeBron James Jr., aka Bronny, was selected with the number 55 pick in the NBA draft just last whatever day that was. The second round was Thursday, and so um, essentially people got up in arms about nepotism and so many different things. You got like you got everybody kind of trying to do the mental gymnastics of having Bronny being picked by this after he only basically averaged like 3 points per game for his career
Mm-hmm.
in college. He just had a heart attack. He died last year. Essentially, came back to life. So many different factors that were against him. So for me, I didn't really care. Flat out. Like I was just like, all right, bet he in the league. We basically said that this was probably gonna be the case. From what people are saying, that he had great measurables. I think they said he's shot. He was like the number 2 3-point shooter by percentage at the combine.
Yeah.
Number 4 leaping ability, something like that. Like he basically had some good measurables at the combine. They kind of set him apart. Of course, he's still a 6'1" guard, so he's undersized, but people are giving him all kind of comparisons, Avery Bradley and such and so on. But you had other people that were like, "This is a travesty. We got to have people talk about this. Like, how can people just let this corny stuff go?" And I'm thinking, like, okay, certain parts of it are corny. So, like, if you guys haven't seen, he's gonna pick the number 9. So now his dad is 6, he's 9. They 69 gods, and so it's that shit I would say is kind of corny. I would like, or it ain't my choice. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, it probably would be better if he chose a different number. Hell, if he basically got 23 from AD or something like that, or got the number 23 or whatever. Like something where it's like he set himself different from what his pops is doing. And people are talking about, okay, well, what does Bronny want? Does Bronny want any of this? None of us know. Not a single soul. Like the only people that could probably know is his mom,
Mm-hmm.
his dad, his
Mm-hmm.
brothers and sister, and maybe some cousins. Like I don't know what LeBron James Jr. wants. I don't know, dude. Never met dude. But as far as what I'm tracking, I don't think that is anything bad because it looks like he wanted to make it to the league. This was his chance to make it to the league. So he's going to have to contend on his own. Like LeBron James Sr. is not going to be there forever. He's going to play probably 2, 3 more years, if that, and basically go off into the sunset. So after that, LeBron James Jr. is going to have to fend for himself. And even in these times, my opinion, because even though I don't know them, I feel like LeBron James Sr. is going to basically let LeBron James Jr. do his thing. He probably, well, Bronny's going to probably come to him for advice for certain things, but I don't think he's going to basically, I don't think LeBron Sr. is going to basically do things to basically either maneuver things that give him some level of advantage. He's gonna probably just be like, hey, you probably need to do this, probably need to do that, just like a dad would. Like LeBron is a corny dad, like flat out, he is. But I have no problem with that because I'm a corny dad sometimes. Like it shit just happens. But when it comes to him, I think that he's such a competitor that I don't think he's gonna basically make that be. He's not gonna be dad first. He's gonna be, hey, I'm hooping, I'm trying to get this team to a title, but he's not gonna basically do things that are going to hinder the team. Now, granted, like if there's somebody that's better than LeBron James Jr. and they have a chance to get them, he might get cut or he might get injured reserve or something like that. But it's still to the point of this is something that I don't think that there needed to be something that's up in arms. Competition is going to basically have this shit come out in the wash. But as it is right now, I don't think it's something that we need to be yelling about.
Yeah, it's not something that we need to be yelling about, bro. It's a beautiful thing though to see a father and
Mm,
son play in the league together. Was it
mm,
a strategic move to get him there? Hell yeah, it was. It was it.
yeah,
Was he playing and pulling strings in the background? Hell yeah. Because the
I
Lakers
believe.
are a big time franchise. They like big time names. He's won a championship there. I'm more than sure that Jeannie had a discussion with front office and she was like, "Hey, look,
Mm-hmm.
guy bought us one. Let us bring his son in. He knows his son better than we know his son. It's a second round draft pick. Let's do it." You know,
Yep.
that's the way to think about it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if I'm the Lakers, I'd rather take that, lose that second round pick now because of the density of the lack of density of this draft. This draft wasn't superstar loaded, okay? If this draft would have been superstar loaded or like a lot of kids that they have
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of potential, I would have been like, no, don't do this.
Right.
But because it wasn't like that, I can live with this. Then the other side of me, even though like I know a lot of you are gonna say, "Oh, you sounded like." Look, we've openly criticized LeBron many a times for stuff that he's pulled over here,
Yep.
including the whole JJ Redick thing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but as a man looking at another man who's got his son on in the same game that he's in, I can't hate on him because you can't lie. Any of your parents that know that they could get you on, they're gonna get you on. They know if they got the
Yep.
pull, they're gonna make it happen. Now, will it pan out? We'll see in 3 years. Because, like Rob said, I'm pretty sure LeBron is out in the next 3 years, and then we'll see where Bronny lands on his own after that. Do I think there might be a little push and pull between now and then? Hell yeah. Because his dad is LeBron. It- and I saw somebody say the other day, they were like, oh, Mike would never do a thing. Look, Mike's kids weren't, I'm not going to say they weren't
They
competitive. They didn't have the drive that Mike had to want to go to the league. And with that being said, I think it never affected Mike because Mike saw them fall into his businesses and he was fine with that. Hey, my kids don't want to do what the hell I did. Hell, I laid the groundwork. Psh, they're going to take the business aspect of it, which is
yep.
totally fine with me. And I feel like LeBron just wanted a chance. He's gonna be with his son. In my mind, it actually gave me a little bit of time back, Rob. I don't know if you remember, but it reminded me of Griffey and his dad.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just reminded me of Griffey and his dad. The only thing is, Griffey was
Was that motherfucker
whoo,
even coming out? Like he was a first round draft pick for sure.
yeah,
Like
that's the biggest difference. Like I don't think that Bronny will ever overshadow his dad.
mm,
Griffey Jr. overshadowed his dad.
right.
he overshadowed his dad by a mile. He came out,
Big.
yeah, he came out swinging the sweetest swinging baseball, all stars. He was phenomenal. Is that what
Yep.
Brian is gonna do? No,
No,
that's not happening.
not even rolling.
But
But what I would say is like we've seen these kind of moves before. Like we're both baseball fans.
yeah,
We've seen like with MLB drafts, they'll take whoever's son and basically draft them onto a team. Whether that son, like Mike Cameron, for example, Daz Cameron was in the league for a while. Dimitri Young's son, Delman Young. I think he was either his son or nephew or whatever. Like we've seen like this play out as far as like a team drafting a guy that basically, you know, like we haven't seen it with basketball necessarily. At least not an example I could think of off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
like a team basically drafting a guy because they have connections to said guy, and it's just that, hey man, I got you, boy,
Yeah.
whatever. Like this shit happens all the time. And granted, like I said, if it gets to the point where the Lakers and LeBron have to basically make a move to do these things or to basically make the team better, are they going to cut Bronny? Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think that LeBron has probably had that conversation with his son. I mean, granted, this is very early on, but like we've seen Doc Rivers basically trade his son multiple times.
Yes, he did.
Like it's not as if like something like this is out of the possibility. And hell, this might be what LeBron has talked to his son about before when basically entered the draft and everything like that. So, nah, man, it's not anything that we gotta
Yeah.
basically clutch our pearls and get so mad and how could this be? Like, nah,
Yeah,
man, it's like it's what
it's
it is.
never gonna be that. Like, and I know it's gonna be some of y'all. Blah blah. Look, and the other thing that you think about it is you always gonna see teams take chances on superstar kids. Look at the Bichettes,
Yep.
Dante, Bo, all of them. It's a line of them. Uh, the Toronto squad. Toronto has multiple kids' dads that played for that team, and they
Yeah.
have their sons now playing in the MLB. Granted, these kids were bred from the start, and Toronto just. I'm gonna be honest with you. Toronto played the ultimate hand of I had your dad, and I'm gonna have you too, and I'm gonna have success
Mm-hmm.
off of the
Yeah.
legacy. Toronto just played hell about it. That's a hell. That's the chess move beyond chess moves right there.
Right.
It just happened to work out for them. But man, I love it. I freaking love it, and we're gonna get to see them play, and hopefully they have some good moments. Maybe alley oop the dad, alley oop the son.
Mm-hmm.
Some good stuff. There's gonna be some heartwarming stuff. And then the other thing is, whenever LeBron does get ready to leave basketball, he's leaving his son. And we get to see how Bronny develops. Do I think Bronny could have a good upside? Yeah, I do. Am I looking for him to be a superstar? No, but I am looking forward to see what moments they're gonna have.
Honestly think if he could just have a solid 8-year career, no all stars, no nothing, where basically he gets off his rookie contract, gets another contract. That's all that he can really do. Like
Yeah,
I think that's a success. Like he don't have to make no all anything teams. All you gotta do is basically play, be a solid contributor to a team, and then basically I think he'd be fine.
yeah, that's definitely gonna be good. Now moving on, Rob, you made an impressive statement earlier in the opening.
Mhm.
You wanted to know how many people could name players off of teams in different sports. Now I'm gonna say this: you said you could name MLB players.
Yep.
I would be confident in the NBA realm and somewhat confident in the NFL realm for sure. I know you got me beat on the MLB. You name it 10. I'm like, I probably got 5 or 6 each team for sure, maybe. But 10. Now, like he also asked you, we want to know how many of you guys at home could name multiple players off of teams. What sport would it be? How many do you think you name? Could you name an impressive 10 like Rob? Rob's the man whenever it comes to MLB. But I'm gonna definitely say I at least got seven players on. I'm gonna say 7 on NBA teams
Mm.
and NFL teams. Uh, I might have 7 to 10 on NFL teams. And then MLB teams, I'm gonna at least say 5 to 6.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna at
Yeah.
least say 5 to 6.
Yeah, like we talked about before the show. I told him I'm like I can name maybe 3 on each NBA team, and that's because I can't name more than 3 Hornets. I was like, man, look, I was like Lamelo, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges. Like that's it. Like that's the only Hornets I could just name off the top of my head. Like when it comes to say football, oh, like I could probably I don't know if it'd be 10, but it I could probably get close to that number. Like only reason and for me, like I love, I'm a fantasy baseball nerd, been playing this shit for like the longest. So like I can name like a bunch of players baseball wise. Like I could just be like, boom, you owe me let's say like the Astros. I could go Ryan Presley,
Mm.
Bregman, out Jordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Framber Valdez. Like I could basically bust out like at least a good number of Josh Hader, Christian McCormick. See this. Let me go. I'll just finish. I'll round it out. Finish it up. Marcelo Dubon. Who did I just talk about? Yeah, Dubon. Oh, Altuve and uh Jeremy Pena. So like, yeah, like I can name basically off the top of my head like all these players and basically do it like that. But like, yeah, what about you guys? Like as far as the sport, because I know like some people are more basketball fans than they are hockey fans. Some people are more hockey fans than they are baseball fans. So like off each team, how many players could you name off the top of your head? Like just basically, it could be one. It could just be like, hey, I know for football, you got Lamar on one team, you
Mm-hmm.
got Josh Allen on another team, you
Mm-hmm.
got Baker Mayfield on another. Like if it's one, then it's one, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like some people just remember names easier, but like as far as you guys, like how many players could you name off each sport? Just off the top of your head,
We
and
definitely
that's
want to know.
yeah, just add us to at Bramigos podcast where you talk, you see it at the bottom of the screen, you know, you see all our names, Twitter, threads, whatever it is, add us Bramigos pod and just let us know how many can you name off the top of your head. Also in the YouTube comments,
Yep.
let us know how many can you name off the top of your head.
Yeah. And next, Saudis boxing league. Could it work? Rob, I
Mm.
think this shit could work. They got more money than the law allows, okay?
Ooh, yeah,
So they can make whatever happen, okay?
yes.
I have no problem believing that this can work, hands down, bro. I thought about it. It's gonna be. I feel like the Saudis have that unlimited purse. That's why people are gonna be willing to take fights over there. Because even if you don't win,
Mm,
the money is so good that even if I take a loss over here, I'll be okay.
mm,
Okay. I'll be okay financially. Do I think it's going to be the move? Yes. And I think the other thing that it's going to do is I think it's going to put pressure on these promoters to try to make the right fights. Well, not just the right fights, it's going to pressure them to try to get the money, even more money involved in it. Because if he can go over to Saudi and make X amount of money, and it's
mm.
gonna be streamed and it's gonna be this and they're gonna have a show because bro, I can't lie, whenever the Saudis put on an event, it's musical talent out there,
Oh
it's
my God.
fireworks, it's this is the Saudis have put on shows for boxing that it it made me think this is what video game presentation is. This is
Mm.
like make your own WWE entrance.
It's
But
like a war shows.
yeah, but it's so much, and you don't have that during like a regular boxing match.
No.
We have never had something like that during a regular boxing match. These guys come out and it's pyrotechnics and it's little baby and it's this artist and it's that artist and it's Bad Bunny and they dancing and it's like, dude, it's like this is the shit out here. Like, and I hate to say it, Rob, but some people may not be for it, but I'm for it. I am all for
Mhm.
this shit. I am 110% down for this. I want this to happen because I feel like this is where we're going to get our dream matches at. This is
Mm.
where these dudes are going to say, hey, bro, Let's take it to Saudi, get this bag, and fight each other. I think that's the move, bro. I think that's the move. And I don't know if a lot of people like the Oscar De La Hoyas are gonna be cool with this because then it's gonna make them have to resort to I'ma say using up and coming talent or finding up and coming talent. But I will say this. It's gonna shine a light on the dudes who haven't gotten title shots or the guys who are sitting in a division that can't get to that big guy. I feel like
Mm.
it's gonna part the waters and it's gonna force them to give these other guys shots because the bigger names already established are gonna go get the bag over there.
Mm.
So now you gotta give these other guys shots at titles and they're gonna move up in the picture and their name is gonna be out there. So I'm for it. I'm for it, bro. I don't know. What about you?
So I'm for it, like, because the one of the things that I kind of seen like with boxing is that, and one of the things that I've like felt with boxing is just, I'm a person like when it comes to WWE, like they got the multiple world championships. I'm a person that's like, I just need one. I'm very monogamous when it comes to like, hey, who is the title, who is the world champ? So like, if they're gonna basically set up divisions where everybody is gonna be under this league, whatever it may be called, I want there to be like, all right, this is the light heavyweight champ, this is the cruiserweight champ, this is the world heavyweight champ, this is the middleweight champ. So like I would rather it be to where it's more singular, where versus you got the Ring Magazine, the WBA, WBC, IBF, WBF, all these different organizations and whatever. I'm in favor of that. Now, the part that I guess gives me pause is that I don't know how it's going to basically play out, because even if you have like say a UFC type of approach where you got like a matchmaker that basically
Mm-hmm.
does these kind of different things, like, is it going to be to where you'll be able to have just one singular ranking? Is it going to be to where are you gonna have relegation essentially, where these guys are gonna get kicked out of the leagues? Are you just gonna basically copy and paste UFC and basically make it to where, okay, um, you fight you? Because the thing like we talked about before the show, like certain fighters, certain UFC fighters, and we're gonna get to UFC later on in the show, but uh with certain fighters, like they might be ducking other fighters. Is that going to be something that's going to happen here, or is it going to be to where the Saudis are going to, either employ a commissioner, somebody that's going to lay down the law and say you need to fight so and so? Like, how is this going to work out? So that's the only where my skepticism is just with the unknown. But like, I would say this is something that should happen. They said they're going to put like $4 or $5 billion into this because they just got 4 or 5 billion. They got more than 4 to 5
Oh
billion.
hell yeah.
But like, the fact that they have $5 billion that they can just do this and essentially probably pay off the Don Kings, the Bob Arums and Oscar De La Hoyas and Money Mayweathers and all that, and just be like, hey, go somewhere else, I'm busy. Like, that's gonna be fly shit. But it's also to where it's like, I don't know, and I'm still kind of hesitant because I don't know. But I want to see where I'd like to see it.
I can understand you being hesitant, bro. But I'm gonna paint you a picture right now. 3 nights of the greatest boxing of your life. A company shows Drake, Beyonce, Lil
Yeah.
Baby, Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
It's going to have, they're going to be able to do a WWE style thing where they're going to be,
Yeah.
if they want to, they can make a match card over multiple nights. And I promise you, Rob, you know, like I know, if you gave me and you 4 5 billion to make a baseball team, we gonna make
Yep.
a hella fine baseball team.
Absolutely.
And what I feel with these guys is gonna be this: they're gonna use that, and they're gonna make boxing elevate again. And I hate to say it,
Mm.
Dana, you need to be on the lookout because if this shit works with boxing, they're gonna dip in the UFC.
Oh,
And
they're already there.
because you don't pay people what they, because they got 4 5 billion, not million. They got 4 5 billion. And 4 5 billion is a lot of buckaroos.
So
And
many.
And if they go into that field, Rob, let's say they decide to put 3 billion in the UFC, they're gonna make every dream match happen because they're gonna give these dudes 10, 15, 20 million dollars a fight. And Dana ain't never gave them 20 million for a fight.
Not even remotely.
And they're going to take this because what's gonna happen is they're gonna say, "Hey, you remember me and you wanted to fight, and I didn't want to do this because of the title. Well, guess what? They told us 20 million just to show up and fight. Get your ass over here so we can make this money." It's just like the Francis thing with the boxing. Francis made more boxing in those two matches. He
Mhm.
just superseded everything that he made in his career in two other fights, and one of them he got knocked out in.
Yep.
That's worth the risk going over there. And not everybody may agree, but it was worth the risk of him going over there. And guess what? He made the bag. That's what counts. He made the financial decision. He made the bag. And hey, I'm for it. It's gonna be great to watch. Now
Mhm.
we are baseball friend. We are very avid baseball fans. Rob,
Mhm.
do you
So
think the Orioles got it?
so guys, I understand that Baltimore is a very young team. You got Gunnar Henderson, you got Adley Rushman, you got Hurston Kerstad, who's basically I think still floating back and forth, which he's like fucking crazy in the minor leagues. But like you got all these different players. You got Jackson Holiday that still hasn't like is still waiting to be called back up. Um, you got all these different players that are on this team that are like this team is so damn good. Like I pulled up the Statcast like stats for them. Like they're number one in barrel rate, which basically barrels are like these motherfuckers are basically hitting this shit. Like there's like to hit it off the barrel, like you got to be so damn in tune with the pitches that's coming, what like your reflexes, everything. That basically they saying they hit these bitches on point, and so hard hit rate, exit velocity, like they're number one in all these things. Like they're on fire right now. Still got Corbin Burns. They, granted they got Kimbrel. We don't know how that's gonna happen. He's just the white Kenley Jansen to me. Like,
I
good for a while, but then he just kind of phases out. But like
can see.
in my mind, they're that playoff team. They made the playoffs last year. Granted, like so early that people just did not understand it, but it's the same thing this year. Like they're the best team in baseball, all these different things. And I'm thinking to myself, are they World Series or bust this year? Because they already made it to the playoffs. So it's not as if this is a team that is up and coming. It hasn't been there. No, they won a gang of games last year. They're winning a gang of games this year. Like, what is their expectation supposed to be? Is it supposed to be to where we're like, hey, wait and see, what are they gonna be? Like, let's be patient. Or is it like this team has been primed, this team has been beating the hell out of everyone all season. They supposed to basically make it all the way to the finals. So like in my mind, I'm just on that ladder. Like I'm like basically like this team is destined to make it. This team has the tools to basically make it. This team is supposed to win it all. Granted, if they had Felix Batista, they'd be perfect, but they don't. But it's still to the point of they got players. They got the Grayson Rodriguez's. They got the Anthony Santander's. They got the Ryan Mountcastles and the Austin Hayeses and all these different players. This team is supposed to be contending. So we need to basically keep that pressure on them, just like we would like the Yankees or the Astros or any of these other teams that's been perennial powerhouses. The Dodgers, like these teams are been perennial powerhouses, and now this new perennial powerhouse is right there. So I just need to know what you guys think. It's my baseball folks out there. Like, what do y'all think about this? Like, should the Orioles have these expectations already, or should we be patient? Because I'm like, we need to basically say, hey, y'all need to basically make it. Y'all need to do this. Guarantee y'all got the best farm system, so y'all gonna be good for a decade. But it's also to the point of what are y'all gonna do now? Y'all gonna go get some more, talent. Like you could basically fill out that bullpen. Like you could basically fill out, certain things that, maybe the depth on the bench. But like, what are y'all gonna do? Like, I think y'all need to basically win a World Series because it's open for y'all. I mean, granted, you got the Phillies, you got the Dodgers, you got, the Brewers, you got the Guardians, you got teams that are out there, but they're all vulnerable. They all have different things that basically can get them. What are y'all gonna do? What are you getting to do my Marco Irvin? What are you gonna do to protect your house? What are you gonna do to basically this is your time? This is your time. Like what are y'all gonna do, dog? Like, tell me, Baltimore, what are y'all gonna do?
I think they're still young, Rob. I still think they're young. Colton Cowles or
Absolutely.
Westberg, Cedric has been there. Look, the one problem I see with Baltimore is gonna be the pitching. It is the rotation, bro.
Mm,
I don't see the rotation, the starting rotation picking up come like playoff time. Maybe they will. Maybe those guys
mm,
get in the rhythm. I think pitching is gonna be their downfall.
mm,
Whenever I look at the Orioles from just like a batting lineup perspective, solid. Anthony Santan, there's there. You have everything that you could want there. Okay, like you said, Heston Kjerstad has floated back and forth, but I feel like he's gonna settle in. Okay, do I think that they gonna win
mm.
100 games this year? I'm expecting at least 91 to 100.
Yeah.
At least 91 to 100 from them. Baltimore is scary. Pitching is where I feel like they're like their fault. Like today, they're gonna face Texans. They facing Henley. They got Cole Irvin on the mound. I think that they win
Mm,
this game against the Texans today. I think if they were gonna fuck up the Texans, it's today.
mm,
I feel like this is the day they're gonna fuck them up. Even though Texans terrific lineup, Marcus Simeon, Corey Seager is there. Wyatt Langford, Nathaniel Lowe. Shout out to the other Nathaniels out there. Jonah Heim is out there, great catcher. Baltimore is just too much, bro. You got to
mm,
switch hitting catcher. Gunnar Henderson popping the bat. Santander popping the bat. Kjerstad can give it to you. Colton Cowser can give it to you. It's too much there. I think like today they're winning, but do I think that they can? Do I think that they can make it to the World Series? Possible, but I also feel like this is gonna be like we've always talked about with like that New York Giants team that made the run in the Super Bowls. It's gonna be
mm.
them getting hotter come playoff time because I think playoff inexperience is the one thing along with their pitching that can hold them back. But if they get
Definitely.
hot, I think that they're super dangerous, and I think that if they get the right matchup and everything falls for them right in the bracket, I think that they could legit make a push, and it only take that one time, bro. It
Yeah.
only take that one time, and it's that one time that they get it. And once you get that one time going, it's over. It's a wrap. Hey, hey, man, this dude is they're cooking, they're cooking, they're cooking, and if the pitching staff catches a groove, psh, they could walk to a World Series.
Mm,
They could, but that's my biggest fear for them. It's gonna be pitching because all of the other teams that you named, I feel like whenever I look at their pitching rotation, I'm afraid of a few dudes on that rotation to where I'm like, they could change
yeah.
this game. This
Yeah.
game could go south if we don't get a hold of this dude early. And whenever I look at Baltimore, I'm like, their bats are gonna hit, but I don't think that the pitching is gonna stop us enough. I feel like getting into it with Baltimore is those Phoenix Suns team with Nash and Amari.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna
Yep.
score a shit ton of runs. We just gotta keep up with
Right.
them. We
Right.
just
Can
gotta keep
can
up.
can we hold them down enough?
Yeah, and that's what it's gonna come down to with the Orioles. And if they can make the run though, bro, it would be super impressive to watch them if they because if they won a World Series, bro, that would shake up the MLB.
Yep.
It literally would mean we're rolling dice every year on who has this, and Yankees, it would still mean that your checkbook is defeated once again. Just gonna throw
Yep.
that one out there. But yeah, man, I'm excited to watch them. They always get a little since they've been hot. I'm not gonna lie. I pop a little window open and I'll be like, I'm gonna keep an eye on Baltimore right here today. Gonna keep a little
Just,
eye
just,
on you.
just a little peep.
Yeah, little people, gonna keep an eye on y'all today. That's how I know because I was like, I see we gonna keep an eye on that Texas game today. I see Baltimore probably gonna win. Feeling kind of good about them. Feeling kind of good about them. Now, with that being said, we told you guys we were gonna talk about the draft and the boringness of the second night.
Hmm?
Because let's be real, even if you're an NBA fan, you just watch for the ticker on the second night. We watched the ticker. Who went
Yeah,
where?
that's it. As if you watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, hey, real talk.
yeah, and that's if you watch. Like it's let's be real. The first night of draft night is the one that you want to see. After that, it's like, okay, look, I'm gonna keep an eye on this ticker. I'm gonna look at reports. I'm gonna see who going where and this, that, and the other, and that's it. So we need something to spice up this second night because otherwise, y'all could just not broadcast that shit and give us something else. So
At all.
yeah. So of course, me and Rob had to kick around a few ideas. Rob had some good shit around him. Battle of the NBA stars. How would that work, Rob?
So I'm thinking like, they used to have Battle of the Network Stars like on ABC and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So like if they could basically just have while the draft is going, just competitions, like between, different things. So like it could be something as small as like potato sack race. It could be something as big as like, 3-on-3 flag football. Like it could be whatever, like just something that basically grabs the audience and basically be like, all right, we gonna basically entertain y'all while this whole thing is happening. Because there's no fucking reason to have the second round on. And look, the thing is there's 30 extra men that's basically trying to make their way into the league.
Yeah.
And this is their night of their life, the biggest night of their lives, as they basically are doing that. So I'm not trying to belittle y'all. But as far as a television product, flat out boring. Like, yeah, I know like when it was on the at the same night, I just remember it being like, okay, the first round over. Oh, this is still on TV? Okay. I'll just keep it on because why not? Like I ain't got shit else to do. And so Battle of the Stars, like just something that basically they could just do, whatever it may be, like just some kind of competitions that they could have.
Oh, now,
The
real quick,
next thing, go ahead.
how would the variety show work? Because that is the next thing on your list.
Yeah. So like a variety show. So like I don't know if y'all remember, but like Victor Oladipo could sing his ass off.
Yeah,
And
he
that was like
can.
one of the things that came out in like one of the All-Star games. Like he could just sing his ass off. So I'm thinking like a variety show where some of the stars basically do certain talents or whatever, or just like have something where they're leading something, like how they used to have like the Brady Bunch do like a variety show,
Yeah,
like something where the players are leading and leading something that you can see their personality and you can see like certain things like about them, something that they ain't gotta run around or do. They're just talking. It's like, hey, here's me singing, here's me doing magic tricks, here's me doing, Chinese arithmetic. Miles Turner, for example. Miles Turner is very much a Lego collector. Could he basically put together a Lego sculpture basically during the second round of the NBA draft? And you could basically go back to him and be like, hey, where are you at with this, Miles? And you could basically detail these players' talents right then and there. Like I think that'd be something that people would like to see, and you'll be able to have, and you could say like, "Oh, I remember when this happened," and it's just something that you can keep back to.
yeah. Or
So this, go ahead.
before you go on, I'd love to see Jeff Teague roast people. I just love to
Mm,
see Jeff Teague roast people.
that should be wild. 'Cause he is fucking funny, dog.
Yes, he is.
Like shout out to Club 520. That I love y'all podcast. Like all y'all cats. Like y'all do it right.
Jeff Teague roasting people during the second round would be hilarious. Like that shit would be.
Like who is this? Like who is this motherfucker? Like y'all got him. Like
Yeah,
that was what that y'all traded for. Okay.
yeah. That would be crazy. Spades or Uno tournament. We playing from teams? We going up here in Paris from teams?
So I like violence, and so like I think this is one of those things that will have a lot of violence, but it would be entertaining for the rest of us. Just I mean, I think as far as teams, you could basically we can do like how they did the All Star and basically, hey, I'm gonna select, if it's space, I'm gonna select the person who's gonna be across from the table for me. It could be like, all right, I'm Tyrese Halliburton, I'm gonna go ahead have Devin Booker be my partner, or I'm OG Ananobi, and I'm gonna have Dante DiVincenzo be my partner. Something where it's like, all right, they'll choose their partner and then basically have like a tournament like that, and then you could check on like, all right, who's winning this, who got more books, or whatever, or Uno, like who got Uno out, like you just hearing Uno out as the 43rd pick is basically being said, like something like that, where it's just like, all right, here's something else for people to watch.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I'm anticipating a lot of just fights and just overall drama and just something that we all can see and basically be like, all right, I saw, this player punch this other player.
it might
That
get
that
wild.
was a good time.
It might get wild. Now Cam and Mace, I see this up here. That would be wild. Cam and Mace
Yes,
hosting the second round would be wild. But I'd love it though. I
I
freaking
would
love
love it too. Like having it is what it is. Do a live show right there at the second round, like because people gonna want to watch. And granted, I don't know how much you can air on TV of it, but I think it's something that people are gonna want to see. Like I think that Cam especially, because I think Cam is low key one of the best sports talkers in the game right now. And Mace is actually really good too. Like Mace is actually a really good like breaker down of information and everything like that. Like people think like, oh well, these are two rappers that basically just doing podcasts because they can do. They're actually really good at like sports
it. Yeah,
talk,
they are.
like legitimately good at sports talk, and I've been pushing them for things and opportunity like I'm their fucking agent, but like they are really good at fucking sports talk, like much better than I would have thought.
Yeah.
So but that'd be good.
That shit would be freaking hilarious to watch them to host around at the NBA. Like that would be crazy. I could definitely see them two doing like second round, and that would liven it up. Now I also see you got KG and Paul Pierce up there. Now I
Yeah,
will take this. KG and Paul Pierce might be wild, bro. Cause I feel like if you catch KG on one of them nights and he on that shit
mm.
and he getting hyped, that shit is gonna be ridiculous, Rob. Just tell me with it. Like, where could you see that going with him?
KG Paul, like, because Paul is one of those cats that just like you don't really know what the fuck he's gonna say, and it's one of those like not like Chuck where it's like it's gonna be some like old head kind of shit. Most of the time you really don't know what the fuck Paul Pierce is gonna say. KG, like he aggressive. Like he just like you just know like whatever he's gonna say is gonna be either aggressive or like cool. Like it's either or. Like it's not too much different. But like, yeah, like with Paul is like, yeah, you really don't know what the fuck, like what the fuck world he's in, what he took beforehand. Like you don't know where the fuck he's gonna be, and that's why I would love for basically that to be happening. But
Yeah,
that was the ideas that we bring out to y'all, and NBA, y'all listening, just kind of take a motherfucker's idea,
slide a
and
little
just
bit.
just because we want to see this shit shake, and then we also want to get a little bit, just a little bit of greenbacks on the back end, but we want to see this shit shake for the second round because, granted, I didn't watch it, so even if they did some of this shit that we talked about, just let us know. But I didn't even know it was on until like I got off work and like I'm getting in my car and all of a sudden I'm seeing like, oh, the second round has just started. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like this happened already? I'm thinking it's gonna be at the night. It's like, no, that shit was like 5 o'clock on Thursday after evening. Like okay, like whatever. But yeah, just keep a bug in your ear.
Yeah, definitely. Now, with that being said, we're gonna switch one more gear in the NBA, and then we're gonna be, up out of your people's face. But free agency, Rob. I've been paying attention to the NBA free agency and a lot of the
Mhm.
moves being made. I've even saw since we've been sitting here, that Dave even said Klay Thompson is saying his goodbyes to
Mm.
the Golden State because he's gonna walk away in free agency. which I'd hate to see him walk away from the Warriors, but it's probably one of the better financial moves for them. But I do want to talk about my Pelicans for a second. Pelicans, good job. Good job. Good job. It's from me to you. We got DeJounte Murray. Now go get
Oh
me a
yeah.
point guard. And you're going to see me a lot. A lot. Because damn it, I've been waiting. Zion gave me 70 games last year. Zion, I just need you to be healthy. I need you to give me like
Mm,
74, 75 and be healthy for the playoffs. Give me a complete season of
mm,
you being super productive. And now I got like a two-way guard out there that can shoot and defend. Give me a big man and a point guard, goddamn it, we rolling. We are fucking rolling. I love it. Good job. Great job, Pelicans. Great job. But also in free agency, like I said, Klay Thompson is looked to be on the move. Paul George
mm,
declined his option last night, so he's gonna look to be on the move. This will be an interesting off season right now. Um, I saw Orlando is gonna have cap space. Which Orlando, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Orlando has a young team that is very nice, and Pablo Blanchero I feel like he gets overlooked. I
mm-hmm.
just feel like he
Very much.
does. And
Very much.
it's a shame, but I hope that he gets a running mate. I'm gonna throw this one out there. Donovan Mitchell, if you don't want to be in Cleveland, I think Orlando wouldn't be a bad spot for you to land. I'm gonna
Mm.
just throw that one out there. That's just me speaking from the heart. Um, or you can come on out to the City of Gumbo. I go ahead and give up CJ if I can get you, baby. We rolling.
Right.
I'm sorry, CJ. I'm gonna throw you to the wood. I'm trying to win something. But
Understand it.
this is gonna be very much in a super 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 interesting free agency because it's people who are on the downsides of their careers that you're looking to see where they're gonna go. It's people who are on the upside, who are on like the uptick. It's defenders, it's playmakers, it's a lot of stuff that can happen. And I really want to see how this is going to pan out, bro. I really do. Um this is I'm going to say this. I'm not gonna say it's the free agency that I've been the most excited about
Mm,
in some years, but it's the one that I'm the most interested to see because I feel like James Harden is still a 20 and 10 guy that can
mm,
facilitate an offense. Paul George, extremely great two-way piece that can fit in wherever. I feel like the Suns are in a pickle. They have to make some sort of move if they want to be competitive. I feel like a lot of the younger teams who got shine, especially in the East, or they're shoring up and they're doubling down on pieces and they're trying to add other pieces and it's gonna make something shake. Because even though Boston won this title, if you guys haven't been paying attention, Porzingis is gonna be out 5 to 6 months again. He's not gonna be back for the beginning of the season. We're talking
mm.
he may not be back to the beginning of next year. Okay. So then you'll have to see him play, and that's why I said Boston struck at the right time. Porzingis played even while he was hurt. They made this happen. You win a championship, like I said, all or nothing for Boston. Boston title or lose, they won. Hey, they got this one. I think they can repeat. Hell no.
Sorry.
But it's going to be very interesting free agency. James Harden could be on the move. We know Klay Thompson's on the move. Pelicans, I wouldn't mind doing a little experiment. James Harden, Zion, DeJounte Murray. Throw that one out there. That might work. But I want to see what the Nuggets might do. I want to see if the Lakers are going to cap stricken themselves because they're going to have to give LeBron like 50 million, to play with his son. And I don't think that Anthony Davis has a healthy bone in his body that's going to last all season as usual, or muscle. And I want to see how that's going to play out for them. So it's definitely going to be worth it. Uh,
I'll say this. Because I know if you're about to move on
Oh
to the
no, you
next
can go.
topic.
Yeah, you can go ahead and make you.
So Bron did opt out of his deal
Mm-hmm.
to basically say that he was going to, or it was reported that he's basically going to take a lesser deal. So my thing is, because this is actually what I had put on before I actually saw that tweet: is LeBron going to pull a Shohei? Because think about it, when it comes to LeBron, he's got $1 billion deal, or you know, with theorized
Yeah.
$1 billion deal from Nike. He's made, look up LeBron James career earnings, but he's made a lot of money from the NBA period. Uh, like let's really look at the fact that he can basically do whatever it is that he want at this point. He has a career earnings of $479 million just from basketball. Just from basketball. Does he need to basically get more money, or does he want to basically make a title team? So like, thinking about it, if he basically is like, we can basically give Clay money, we can give Paul George money, or we can give DeRozan money. He might just basically clear himself to make a deal to get those cats some more money. So it might be interesting because I know Paul George and the Warriors are basically the ones that's kind of being talked about, which I have my own thoughts about that. Um, Without cursing and calling anybody names, I have my own words about that. But if basically the that strucks out and basically Paul George is not going to go to the Warriors, the Lakers could be a very, very valuable option because might want to stay West Coast, might not want to be with the Clippers organization anymore, or whatever. DeRozan's been trying to get to the West Coast. Lakers basically been talked about as far as getting him.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron may not be getting a huge deal, and the cap is, I think, is supposed to go up. So like he may just be like, you know what, I'm gonna take less, or I might get the same deal, or something like that, something similar, and I'm gonna add as many motherfuckers as I can because that team, that Lakers team is boo boo, and
Yeah.
so you might as well just basically be like, all right, what can we do to get the best option? Even though they just drafted old boy Connect, and everything, but what can we get the most ready options that we can to basically make this team a contender? And I think they're going to try and do that.
That
I
could work.
think this is gonna be the time that they're gonna try and basically do everything that they can to make viable options for their team. And so it's gonna be interesting to see like what's all going to happen, because I do think that he's gonna pull a Shohei and basically take a very much, like, I wouldn't say a $2 million deal with all the money coming on the back end, but like he might just take, like, say, a $10 million deal, because he
Eh,
can do that.
I
He
can see
he
that.
very much can do that.
I can see that. Now, before we move on, how do you feel about your Warriors possibly getting Paul George?
Okay, since you want since you
Yeah,
asked,
I gotta put
so
you out there.
the fact that they basically, taking out one injury riddled person for another injury riddled person that has less history with them, I'm not really a fan of, from that aspect, because I don't think you get, like, I granted, Clay seemingly is cooked. He's
Yeah,
not what he was. He can't do what the things that he used to. Paul George is at least more capable of doing that. I think that though Paul George is always hurt. Paul George, you don't really get as many games. Let's look at how many games you had out of Paul George last year or the last few years, because you don't get as much production from him, and I don't think he's going to make the Warriors a better team overall. So he did play 74 games last
yeah.
year. So, but he played 56 the year before, 31 the year before that, 54 the year before that, and 48 the year before that. So it's not as if he's playing a ton of games. He's just he played a ton of games last year. He just hasn't really been able to stay consistent. So for me, as far as a loyalty thing, I'm not really a big fan of it. And he's going to basically cost a lot. Of Paul George is, for something that's you're not going to get a ton of like return back. Seemingly, he's not the player he used to be. He might not be the He's not that two-way guy or I don't think he's that two-way guy that he used to be, and I could be completely wrong. But I think you're going to basically take out one of your guys for something that I don't know. Like it just don't seem right to me. I would say that it just
So
don't seem right.
so this is what I'm gonna speak on real quick. I think it doesn't seem right because I feel like you're missing that you're gonna lose that Clay Thompson mystique of some of the astronomical feats that he's pulled off in a Golden State uniform. Paul George is still very much a very great two-way defender. He's a 20 point per game
Mm,
guy. I feel like if they're
mm,
gonna pick up a person in free agency, it's this dude because he can fit
mm,
in anywhere. He knows when to assert himself. He knows when not to assert himself. He knows how to play the game, and I feel like he's gonna help them way more than Clay. Clay had the mystique of the 60 points and 12 dribbles. You know,
true. True.
we're never gonna see that again. But Clay also had both Achilles going, and he never bounced back. And that's the crazy part because in this day and age with all of the technology, and we've seen people bounce back from Achilles and meniscus and all kind of stuff like that. Clay never got back to where he was. And I remember saying, okay, give him a year and he'll be back. And then the year went and then he never got back. And I think him leaving may benefit him because maybe he might figure out how to get back somewhere else. But
Mm,
I can see why Golden State wants the Paul George move. I definitely make it because I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of anybody who thinks that you can go get like Kawhi Leonard and win right now because it's not happening. Because Kawhi literally he played 68 games, but I feel like his 68 games was so goddamn scattered out here and
mm,
there, and then he wasn't there whenever you needed him the most to me.
right.
And if anybody, I'm gonna say, look, this guy he's the one that Paul George is the guy that you want to sign, and it's just like James Harden. People don't realize James Harden played 72 games last year. James Harden is usually always healthy. He just I feel like he be taking downtime because he done been out partying. He need to
Yeah.
take a few games off, but he's there. He's there. But the gamble on Paul George, I feel like for your Warriors is worth it. I feel like it give y'all another shot with Steph. Well, Paul George, Steph, Draymond, and them young guys, Kaminga and all of them. I feel like that's a good lineup. Still feel like you need another big, but that's
Yeah.
just me. That's just me
Yeah.
on that one. Now, to end with the bang, I don't know if
Bang.
y'all seen UFC 303 last night. I'ma jump all the BS. I'ma jump all the BS and I'm gonna go straight to what I believe should be what Dana White should be focused on. Okay, jury. Okay, Alex Pereira. He showed you C4 in his left hand, and then he showed you the switch kick and he cut your lights off. It's like he literally
Mm,
went click. Look, Rob. Whenever he kicked him, it was the equivalent to you walking into the kitchen right now and saying, "I left the lights on," and and
mm,
walking back out. He had dropped him at the end of round one, and I was like, "Oh my god, this may not last much longer," and it did not last much longer. It was a swift, quick exit. Now, with that being said, Alex, the guy he's been in two divisions. He's won the championship. He's already talked about moving up to heavyweight. So let's be real. All right. The Gilly in the Mist is John Jones going up to heavyweight, okay? Him fighting Stipe. Okay. John Jones ranked number 2, above Cyril Gain. Aspinall's the number 1 rank. So let's be real, UFC. Let's cut all of the bullshit. Okay. Let's I'm throwing this shit out here now. I don't want to see Stipe fight John Jones anymore. Okay? Damn that shit. Throw it out the window. I don't want to see it. Stipe is 41, John Jones 36. You'll say, oh, that's not too far off. Nah, fuck that. Look here. This is what I want, okay? Give me, whenever Pereira decides to step up, because he's already said he wants to step up. You want to give Stipe a match? Give it to him versus Pereira. Let John Jones finish recovering, and I want Bones Jones, Alex Pereira. Give it to me. Same age. Let's do this. I don't give a damn about Stipe anymore. I used to want to say, man, look, I want to see Stipe fight Bones. Jones has been like, oh, Stipe is look a little weak. Is he trying to, deceive me? Nah, bro. I don't even want to hear it no more. Alex Pereira already said he wants to move up. This guy has a chance he could be a champion in 3 different weight divisions in UFC. I want to see if he can get it done. I want to see, because let's be real. Jones is ranked number 2. Stipe is ranked like number 6. Stipe, you're 41. I know some people may say you still got it in you. You probably got some dog left in you. But like the original Ghost Rider, I feel like you only may have one more ride left in you. So do you want to waste it, get knocked out by John Jones and submitted by John Jones? Some people may say, oh, you talking that jazz? No, bro. Let's be real. I think Stipe versus Jones, I think John is probably going to beat Stipe. Okay? That's it. And I feel like Alex Pereira is such a great striker and just so damn explosive. Whenever I watch Alex Pereira fight, I need to see him and John Jones. I don't want to see anything else. My mind is made up. Okay, Dana. My mind is... Look, I'm like a kid at McDonald's, bro. I don't want shit else but that damn Happy Meal up there right now. Don't you give me anything else off this menu right now. This is what I want. I don't want anything else, bro. I don't want Cyril Gain. I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to hear you holler about all Francis is coming back. Nah. I don't want none of it.
Give me what I want.
Yes, I have made up my mind that I want to see this now. That's it. My mind was made up last night. Whenever he put whenever he put him down with the left, I said, if he can shake this off, which he had shook stuff off like that before. Man has 30 fights. He was 30 and 5 now. He had shaken off shots before and came back and fought like a warrior and won his match. Cool. That wasn't the case with Pereira last night. Pereira said the hand wasn't enough. The mighty foot will do it. And the mighty foot did it. And right after that, turned his lights out. And Daniel Cormier called it out. They should have left him down for a second, because whenever they picked him up, he clearly was seeing stars and little birds tweeting around his head, and he was like, do y'all hear those birds? I swear there's birds in here right now. And that's the look he had on his face. So, with that being said, John Jones, Alex Pereira. That's it. That's all I want, Rob.
That's all.
That's it. Now, with that being said, I'm glad to end on such a high note. And with Rob, he came through. But I open in the day, because it's Bro Migos podcast, bro. We got to switch it up every now and then.
Fresh and stunning.
Yep, fresh and stunning. Like we always say, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. Rob, well, you know what? Since you brought us in, I'm going to go ahead and take us out. Good night, Taylor Swift. Save the whales, okay? We gonna big up everything in the world. Give us some world peace around here, and yeah, we're out. Peace.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Bra Amigos podcast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.